Yeah, we do have a few wins actually. So we've got Jake Gallery from the Eastern Footy League. He's played a bit of Div 1 footy. He'll be really hard to match up on through the midfield. We've sort of had to Matt Sperry's obviously gone to Tooleybuck, and Sean Delamere are probably our two notable outs. Has gone back to Warcool, but I think we've sort of recruited more for depth, not so much top end, which was sort of evident for us last year. We were competitive for a half, and then our last 5 or 6 sort of gave way and sort of cost us. But yeah, we should have probably 12, 13 new players, I think. So yeah, we're quietly confident.
In your dream team, Phil, what do you reckon? There's 2 steps in footy from where you are if you finished 8th. First, you've got to make that challenge of playing finals footy. What would you have needed to have played finals last year, and then to challenge for the number 1 role? What do you think you really needed?
Oh, about 60 more points a game, I reckon, and that's about where we're at. And that's the margin we've got to make up, and it's not going to be easy because at this time of year, everybody's obviously sitting in the room hoping they've improved as well. So in actual fact, we've probably got to make up 80 or 90. So we've got a lot of work to do. We've had a tough pre-season. We've been going since October. So I don't know. I think the work we've put in, and we're on the up.
Numbers good on the track and everything's going okay?
Yeah, especially the last couple of months, we've been getting mid-20s to 30s, which is usually pretty good for Mathoura, I think, on previous history anyway. So yeah, we're going okay.
Last year, Phil, Darcy Robertson kicked 40 and you kicked 34 yourself. So you've got a nucleus down there of a forward line. Have you got many young blokes, that can come in and say, get under your feet and be thereabouts, to feed off experienced players like you two?
Yeah, we've recruited Dougal McKinlay. We've had to think outside the square a little bit. It's hard to compete with, obviously, your teams in town here. But, yeah, Dougal McKinlay is a state rep junior footballer. He's coming back from an ankle reconstruction. Really excited about him. He's only a young kid, 6 foot 2 or 3. Jeremy Pearson's back at the footy club as a small forward. Benny Vesti's back from Darwin. Yeah, we've got some talented younger footballers coming through, which should be exciting for the locals, I think.
With the young ones coming through, do you now sort of, if you're starting to build, do you work on a plan for 2 or 3 years? A lot of clubs, I think, make a mistake of trying to, win a premiership in 1 year. And as everyone knows, that doesn't happen. But if you can get the young blokes around you and do a bit of recruiting and try and set a plan for about 3 years, is that something that you would look at as a club? And this year, with 2 wins last year, what would be a pass mark probably for this year on wins?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you just need a really strong nucleus of about 12 to 14 to begin with, which I think we've got together now. And then if you can drag a few with you along the way and obviously recruit a couple more in, you sort of put yourself in a good position, and hopefully you get a couple of young kids come through that step up and play some good footy as well. Look, a pass mark for us this year, well, I'd be hoping we're winning 7 or 8. But again, everybody else in the room saying the same thing. So, look, we've worked hard. We've recruited outside the square a little bit. We've got a lot of blokes returning back to footy. And, yeah, look, just trying to get the locals back to the club. And, yeah, just enjoy ourselves. I think that's the key.
Well, I'll tell you what, Phil, and I mean this with full respect to you. If you coach like you talk, you're a straight shooter. You don't waste a word, and you highlight the facts that are facts in footy. And I'll tell you right now, I'll be following Mathoura with a great deal of interest throughout the course of the year. I hope you really do well. And I can tell you this right now, I haven't been up this way that often, but I drove through Mathoura 3 weeks ago, and I don't know whether Mathoura people, that's a magnificent, that sculpture of that horse on the side of the road. How come that hasn't been knocked off? Well, it's probably right, but it's magnificent. I wish you all the best, 2017, mate.